First of all, thank you very much to the organization for inviting me and to participate in this conference. I don't have to tell you that children on the move face many challenges on their way to Europe, a dangerous journey, many difficulties in accessing education, healthcare, difficulties with privacy, etc. But contrary to the need for protection and framing children as super vulnerable human beings, I think it's also important to look at children as rights holders and as autonomous, active human beings who can exercise their rights. The UN Convention on the Rights of the Child is one of the most important documents for children and acknowledges children as rights holders. And does not see them only as silent and passive human beings. I think Article 12 of the Convention, the right to be heard, is one of the most important aspects of this ID. And it falls within the broader umbrella term of participation. And the right to participation includes more rights only than the right to be heard, but also, for example, the right to information, the right to legal aid, the right to access to justice, and the right to fair trial. The right to be heard also applies to children who are involved in asylum procedures. And it means that they should be able to give their views on the decisions that should be made in their lives. The UN Committee on the Rights of the Child is the monitoring body of the UNCRC, and it provides states parties to the convention also with recommendations and guidelines, specifically in the general comments that they issue. In general comment that they issued in 2005, they specifically state that children who are involved in asylum procedures should be provided with all relevant information to be able to express their well-informed views in the procedures. And the information should be adapted to their maturity and their age. The committee also states that that communication is very important to be able to have children participate in procedures, and therefore interpreters should be available in all situations and all processes for children. In general comment number 12, which specifically deals with the right to be heard, Article 12 of the CRC, they also recommend states that the right to express their views should be fully acknowledged for children who are involved in asylum procedures. And they should be given enough information to be able to give those views. Child-friendly justice is a concept that aims to make justice systems for children more sensitive to their rights and their interests, and to have children participate in these decisions. It implies to the operation of justice systems. And in 2010, the Council of Europe has published the guidelines on child-friendly justice. And guideline of the child-friendly justice is formulated as being decisions that are made quickly for children, respect of their rights, their needs, and taking into account their age and level of maturity, and also that children's views should be taken seriously within decisions that are taken. Specifically, in the guidelines, it is stated that vulnerable children should be able to access child-friendly procedures, and migrant children, refugee children, and children who are seeking asylum are named as such group of vulnerable children. Participation is seen as one of the fundamental principles of these guidelines, and they give more concrete guidance. For example, the children should be given information and advice from the first access to procedures, and that a language should be used that children understand. But it should be stated that these guidelines mostly are applicable to criminal justice systems, and children who are involved in conflict with the law, for example, do not apply that many concrete measures for children who are in asylum procedures. As the Human Rights Commissioner already stated in his introductory talk today, is that the Strategy for the Rights of the Child of the Council of Europe has put the participation of all children and child-friendly justice for all children as their key priorities. And children who are in migration procedures are again named as a specific group that should be given attention in this regard. I would like to draw your attention to two recent studies who have looked at the participation of children in asylum procedures within broader studies. First, a study by the European Commission, and it is concluded from this study that there are not many states who have specialist courts who deal with children, and especially not regarding asylum procedures. Specialization with regard to children is mainly found in criminal justice systems. And safeguards relating to adapting language and interviewing techniques for children are hardly found for children who are in asylum procedures. Another important study that was published this year by the European Network of Children's Ombudspersons in Europe. In this study, it is concluded that children who are in asylum procedures do not have the rights, or their right to be heard and the right to information is not fully acknowledged and put in practice. Mostly information about rights is issued to adults, especially when children travel with their parents or other adults, and then it's deemed to be enough to inform the adults. And the European Network of Ombudspersons for Children recommends that children should be given their own information on their rights, age-appropriate information, and also about the asylum procedure. Moreover, they conclude that professionals, especially within the police, admissions organizations, and the court do not always have adequate training, especially with the high influx now. The training of professionals is not put in practice enough. So with 1 minute to go, I would like to highlight some of the key challenges for the future with regards to academic research as well. I think that for unaccompanied minors as well as for children traveling with family, it is of importance to acknowledge their right to participation. For both groups, the same set of rights exist. It is of importance to have this right not only in the first contact with authorities, but also in subsequent procedures. Studies show that with younger children, this right of participation is mostly overlooked because children are not deemed to be able to give their views. And I think much more attention should be given not only to older children, but also to younger children to be involved in procedures and to give their views on their life and the decisions that are taken. Specialization of professionals is of importance also with more migrants coming in. Even more so it is of importance. And of major importance is also the support for children by legal assistants and guardians. Participation should not only take place through these professionals, but they should be able to support children in giving their views to decision makers in the case. Thank you very much.